Hello and welcome to another edition of Good Morning Pattaya, Pattaya Channel's very own breakfast show. I'm your host, Nick Pendrell, and joining me as regularly is my regular partner, Mr. Daisy.
Regularly. Good morning, Nick. How are you?
Nice to see you.
Beautiful day outside.
Another one. Who'd have thought that in Pattaya? It might be quite warm outside.
But we do have somebody on the show today that might be able to quench your thirst.
I am so looking forward to this interview because we have Reina from Wine Direct International with us.
That's indeed right, yes.
Thank you
Welcome
for coming
to the show.
visit us.
Welcome to the show.
So tell us a little bit about Wine Direct International.
Okay, what we do is we don't sell our wines in shops, restaurants, hotels or something. We do that only directly at the customer's house.
Okay.
So we would visit you at home. And best is maybe I just demonstrate because I have coincidentally everything here with me.
Excellent.
2 glasses.
Going to do some drinking, are we?
You prefer some red or white?
White.
Nick is the connoisseur.
Okay, Nick is the connoisseur. Okay. Here, for instance, we have a nice Soave that you can try.
Okay.
Maybe a red
I'm
for you.
not such a connoisseur. I can't do all the.
So you will actually do this in people's houses?
I do this in people's houses. What I do right here in the studio is what we do.
I don't have to spit it out afterwards, do I? Because I think that's a terrible waste.
I have not had one customer who spit out the wine.
That seems... Why waste a good wine when people do that? No, this is going inside my stomach, definitely.
So when you visit the houses, of course, I mean, you take your box of assorted wines. I mean, is there any sort of pre-planning on the way that, like, you speak to the customer first on what their preferences are?
Right.
I mean, how do you find that information out?
Okay, we have a bunch of wines in our selection. About 20, but only 10 can go in the box. So I ask the customer, do you prefer red or white, sweet or dry? And according to this, we put the selection together. And then some wild cards in there. We had surprises like, I had 2 customers already, I drink only dry red. Guess what they bought? Sweet white wines.
Okay.
They haven't had a clue that they liked it before they tried.
Well, that probably makes more sense to Nick than it does me. I mean, Nick being a wine drinker.
I'm certainly not a connoisseur, but a drinker. There's a big difference between a drinker and a connoisseur. I'm just a drinker.
So the process, I'm just trying to get the process here. I mean, like you say, I mean, what is the reasoning behind you not selling to you say you don't sell to hotels or wholesalers or anything.
Right.
You do it at the house. What is the
reason is, okay, if you go to a supermarket, and you choose your wine in the supermarket, you stand in front of a big wall and 100 or more labels are looking at you and all they scream, buy me. But you have no clue how the wine behind the label tastes.
Correct,
You can make a more or less educated guess, but you don't really know until you open the bottle. So our approach is, forget about all the label buying. For that reason, I don't like to send out a wine list, or we don't have our wines listed on our website. We don't want our customer to do label buying. You should buy by your own taste. I had a customer yesterday, for instance, said, oh, German wines, I don't like them. So I had one German wine with me and I put my hand on the label that he couldn't see and I said, try this. He thought it's a Bordeaux. And he bought it. He said, you absolutely convinced me this German wine is far better than anything I thought Germany could produce. So, and we have these surprises.
Would you say that's right? I mean, drinking wine, Nick, I mean, have you ever sort of tasted wines that you haven't drank before and it surprises you?
Oh, definitely, but I am not a wine snob. To me, there's quite a bit of snobbery with wine. And
Why?
It's all about...
Why would you say it's snobbery with
Because
wine?
a lot of people, for just that reason, that people go, oh, I don't like that. When they know the label.
So many pre-fabricated mindsets from people. I drink only Chardonnay. We have a Chardonnay and they say, oh, it tastes completely different than any Chardonnay I had before. Because I can put you 5 bottles of Chardonnay on the table and they all taste different. So these statements, I don't like this or I like only that, is exactly what we want to wipe out, take out the snobbery out of wine. Because...
Well, they've done this before. I remember in England, they did this test, and because in England you get these wine critics, and basically their job is just to write lots and lots of copy. And they did a test where they mixed in some £2.99 bottles from Tesco in with these incredible vintages that cost £100. I couldn't tell the difference.
Have you been? What I'm pretty intrigued about, and you probably correct me if I'm wrong on this, right? What I'm intrigued to know is, right, that when you say you only fit how many in your box?
10 bottles.
10 bottles. So who is the person that decides what wine goes into that box to take it to that customer's house? I mean, how many of the wines do you have in stock that you can choose from that you think may be right for that customer?
That depends highly on the customer. It's a joint decision between me and the customer.
Okay.
Yeah, I ask them basically what kind you like, and they come, I like full-bodied reds. Okay, I put all the full-bodied reds I have in the box, or maybe 6 of them. And then we have still 4 slots empty, and I put in whatever comes in my mind, what is open as a sample wine. Could put the Soave, for instance, give it a try. If he doesn't like it, he doesn't like it. As long as the customer likes only one wine and he buys it,
Yeah,
that's
sure.
fine.
So how many wines do you have in your like total catalogue?
Wines, we have about 15. Then we have some specialties.
Right.
Like this is a German sparkling wine. For those with a bit more budget, we have champagne. There's a pink champagne here, for instance. We have ice wine.
Ice wine.
We have dry berry selection.
Ice wine. What is ice wine?
Ice wine is harvested in the night after it has fallen -7 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
So the farmers go literally out at 5, 6 in the morning on a freezing cold night, and what they harvest is basically frozen raisins. There's very little yield in there. There is very lot flavor in there. You get a very intense sweet dessert wine.
Wow.
It's like
It makes that much of a difference, then.
yeah, it has a viscosity like honey. It has a very intense smell and taste. It's a specialty. Some people love it. Other people say, oh, sugar water, I don't want it. Up to them. Never allow anyone to tell you what kind of wine you like.
What about the customer that asks you to sort of say, I'm having a dinner party or whatever, like if Nick was putting on a dinner party or any of us here were putting on a dinner party, and we sort of said to you guys, look, we're having a big dinner party, we're having this to eat tonight. Can you come along and recommend
Sure.
what we should have with it?
Sure, no problem.
Where in the world do your wines come from?
Mostly Germany. Some other Europe, like we have a bunch of French wines.
Right.
And but we concentrate on Germany and Europe.
Okay.
Simply because Australia, Chile,
Yeah, the new
the market is overrun with it.
Okay.
And Germany still has this Liebfrauenmilch image.
Yeah. Just thinking German wine.
And it's absolutely unjust. The German winemakers are very aware of this. And for the last 20 years, the quality of the German wine has just gone up. You can get very, very good wines from Germany nowadays.
Yeah. Where in Germany is the wine growing region?
Say south of Frankfurt. It starts around the Mainz area at the Rhine, Nahe River, Ahr, and then from there southwards on the west.
Right.
Then there is a very small region in eastern Germany at the Saale, but that is a very small wine region.
Right. It mostly comes from there.
It's mostly southwestern Germany. Across the border is in France, Alsace, which has very famous
very
wines.
famous.
And that's where the German wines come from.
In terms of prices, what's the sort of your most affordable bottle? And
What
going up
do you
to?
expect to pay for a quality wine in a supermarket? It starts at 800 baht and goes up to 1300 for most wines. These here, obviously a bit more
Sure,
expensive.
champagne's
Also, so is the
also
ice
more
wine, but
expensive,
that's where you buy usually our
So
wines.
supermarket prices.
Supermarket prices, we deliver to your home. So you, first of all, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Secondly, you don't have to carry all these bags. So
Sure.
we deliver to your door. And our customers really appreciate it.
Is there a minimum order? Because you can't get all this hassle for somebody
6
buying
bottles.
6 bottles.
Yeah.
That's quite reasonable.
I think the most important thing that comes out of this, and probably Nick, you probably be better than me, is you said exactly what you said, is you go in the supermarket, you see all these wine bottles all in rows and shelves and whatever, and you don't know how they taste.
no idea.
You've got no
No
idea.
idea.
You know, I mean, you being a wine drinker, you'd probably see one and go, "Oh, I'll try that."
Yeah.
But you may get home, take the cork out, put it in a glass,
terrible.
and throw it in the toilet. You know, whatever. So I think it's a very good idea that you can taste before you buy.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, it's a good idea. But I mean, you say there's only. I was expecting when you said 6 bottles, I was actually expecting for him to say more.
Oh, me too. Me too.
You know,
That's
giving
very
that
nice.
kind of service.
And the orders are usually higher. I mean, we have usually 2 or 3 people sitting in a wine tasting.
Yeah.
It is usually the host orders more than the others, but
Yeah.
there's a guy who says, okay, I take 2 bottles also, and I deliver to the same place. No
Yeah,
worries.
that's easy enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what about the, you know, I'm just trying to get the background on what you're saying. And what about the person that has got a restaurant or anything? You don't deal with them at all then? Is there any thinking behind that?
Okay, the
Because-
restaurants that we were speaking to so far, put it that way. This wine costs you, when you buy it from me, 990 baht.
Okay,
So, when I sell it to a restaurant, he has to mark up,
sure.
and then this wine costs you, I don't know, at least 1,800 baht a bottle.
Whatever, yeah.
And then this wine is most likely priced out of the market.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I'm selling these wines pretty well to private people, and I want to have also this exclusivity. Our wines are not available in this
I think that's the key. What you've just said, and I understand what you're saying. Exclusivity.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, it's like anything. You just feel a bit more privileged, and
Sure.
and that you've got somebody that brings you the wine, and you can't buy it off the shelf. Which I think that's the key to what you're doing.
That is
That's the key,
really
especially to a wine drinker.
Yeah.
A big part of the success that we have.
Yeah.
Wines that are otherwise not available.
Yeah, it's like having a tailor-made shirt or something that nobody else has got, kind of thing. Yeah.
What nationalities are buying from you mainly? Are they mainly Germans or a bit of...
No, we have a very wide mix. My single best customer is Thai.
Right.
Second best is Swiss. And then there are Americans, Belgium,
Yeah.
Scandinavian. It's really a very, very wide
Yeah.
range of nationalities.
But are there some... Because, I mean, we all know that the French love wine, the Italians love wine. British, we're not such a nation of wine drinkers as on the continent. But,
They are pretty good customers, the Brits, yeah.
yeah, those that are into wine probably
Those
like
that are,
quite a lot.
yes.
Yeah.
Many that you talk to, they say, I'm a beer drinker, I don't bother me with wine. Okay, fine, fair enough.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So how long has the business been going?
We do this now for 1.5 years.
Quite a while.
And we have a continuously growing customer base. We get reorders from customers. We get requests from customers.
Yeah.
Hey, we add always new wines to the
I was
selection.
going to say,
We
how
send out
often
That-
do you
that was my
upgrade your
question, yeah.
catalogue?
Yes, we do that regularly. That usually we let one wine that doesn't sell so well, we let fall off the shelf.
Yeah,
And then we add 2 new ones to add.
yeah.
And we send out a mailing, and out of these mailings, we often get them, hey, can you come over? And a friend of mine actually also would like to try,
Yeah.
and that's how this business grows on a slow but steady pace.
So I understand with wine that the vintage is important, even though I'm a snob. Or would you say that's not so much?
That's where the snobbery kicks in.
Okay, so whether it's a 2010 or a 2011,
It certainly makes a difference on high-end wines.
But
Yeah,
wine,
but
not so much.
on these wines that we have, we don't make collectors' wines.
Yeah.
We make wines for people that want to drink it.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're affordable. They're good quality, and people obviously drink them because they get reorders.
Sure. Yeah.
But I think the key is try before you buy.
That's what
That's
makes
the key.
all the difference.
Exclusivity. Try before you buy. 100%. It's a great service, Nick.
What sort of hours can you order you basically?
Most of the time, we are busy on weekends, evenings, when people have time.
Right.
I hardly make a wine tasting at 9 in the morning.
Sure.
I never
sure,
had
I can
one.
imagine.
But
You don't know, Nick?
9 in the evening, this happens regularly.
We're doing it today, aren't we? Early in the morning, we're doing it.
We're nearly out of time, so please let us know, how can we contact you? How do we find out more information? On a website?
Not much information on my website.
All right. Facebook?
It's wine. Let's drink wine.asia.
letsdrinkwine.asia.
Not much information
But
on
at least
on
it shows
purpose.
you how to contact you at
Our
least.
contact details are there. Send me an email, Rainer with AI at letsdrinkwine.asia.
Letsdrinkwine.asia. Thank you very much, Rainer, for coming to visit us. Thank you for giving us some wine.
Thank you very
Cheers.
much, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Enjoy it, please.
See you in part 2.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
hope to hear from you.